Hey everyone, my name is Marcus, and I'm finally ready to talk about what happened at my last job. I've been holding on to this for 6 months now, just trying to convince myself it was all in my head, but I can't keep quiet anymore. Someone needs to hear this. Someone needs to know. So if you've ever felt like something was off about a coworker, if you've ever had that gut feeling that someone at your office wasn't quite right, please, keep listening. Because I ignored those feelings and it almost cost me everything. This is about my former coworker, Daniel. And honestly, I'm not even sure Daniel was his real name. Hell, I'm not even sure Daniel was human. It was March of last year when Daniel started at our tech company in Austin, Texas. I was a software engineer, been there about 3 years, pretty comfortable in my role. Our team was small, maybe 12 people. So we all knew each other pretty well. We were tight-knit, you know. We'd grab drinks after work, celebrate birthdays, the usual office stuff. Then corporate sent us Daniel. I remember the day he walked in for his first shift. Our manager, Beth, introduced him during our morning stand-up meeting. Everyone, this is Daniel Torres. He's joining us as a senior developer. He comes highly recommended from our New York office. The thing is, when I looked him up on LinkedIn later, there was barely anything there. His profile said he'd worked at our New York office, sure, but when I casually mentioned it to my buddy Jake, who transferred from that office 6 months earlier, Jake had never heard of him. But whatever, right? Big company. Maybe they just never crossed paths. Daniel was, I don't even know how to describe him. Average height, maybe 5'10", pale, like really pale. He said he had some skin condition that made him sensitive to sunlight, which is why he always wore long sleeves and gloves, even in the Texas heat. His eyes were this weird gray color that seemed almost colorless in certain lights, and he never, ever blinked as much as normal people do. I know that sounds weird to focus on, but once I noticed it, I couldn't stop noticing it. He'd stare at his computer screen for like 2-3 minutes straight without blinking once. Just these cold gray eyes locked onto the monitor. The first week, Daniel kept to himself. Didn't eat lunch with us, didn't join our Slack channels for random chat, nothing. Just showed up at exactly 9 a.m., worked in complete silence and left at exactly 6 p.m. Every single day, like clockwork. But he was good at his job. Really good. Scary good, actually. He'd solve problems in minutes that would take the rest of us hours. He'd write code so clean and efficient it was almost beautiful. Beth loved him. By the end of week 2, she was already talking about promoting him to team lead. That's when things started getting weird. I worked late one Thursday. We had a deadline and I was trying to finish this feature. Everyone else had gone home except Daniel. He was still at his desk typing away, those gray eyes reflecting the blue light of his monitor. I was deep in my code when I heard him, talking, not on the phone, not on a video call, just talking, to himself, in a language I'd never heard before. It sounded old, guttural, like something out of a horror movie. The words seemed to scrape against the air. "Hey Daniel," I called out, trying to sound casual. "You okay over there?" The talking stopped immediately. He turned to look at me, and I swear to God, for just a second, his eyes reflected the light like a cat's eyes, that greenish glow. But then he blinked, finally blinked, and smiled this tight little smile. "Just practicing my Spanish," he said. "I'm trying to improve." That wasn't Spanish. I took 4 years of Spanish in high school and college. That wasn't any language I'd ever heard. But I just nodded and went back to my work, ignoring the ice-cold feeling running down my spine. About a month after Daniel started, I noticed people on our team were acting different. My desk mate, Sarah, had been this bubbly, energetic person since I'd known her. Always had a story to tell, always laughing. But after spending 2 weeks paired with Daniel on a project, she got quiet. Really quiet. She'd stare at her screen for hours without saying a word, barely responding when you talked to her. Her skin got paler. She started wearing long sleeves too, even though she'd always loved wearing sundresses to the office. When I asked her if she was okay, she just smiled this empty smile and said, "I'm fine." Daniel's been teaching me some new programming techniques, very enlightening. The way she said enlightening made my blood run cold. Then there was Miguel from QA. Fun guy, always organizing happy hours. He got assigned to test Daniel's code for a few weeks. Same thing happened. He got quiet, pale, withdrawn. Started coming in earlier and staying later, spending hours in Daniel's area of the office. I walked by one day and saw them both just sitting there in the dark. Daniel had turned off all the overhead lights in that section, staring at their screens, bathed in that blue monitor glow. Not talking, not moving, just existing. I mentioned it to Beth, our manager. "Hey, have you noticed people acting weird after working closely with Daniel?" She got this defensive tone immediately. "Daniel is an exemplary employee, Marcus. Maybe you should focus on your own productivity instead of worrying about others." That stung. But what really freaked me out was her eyes when she said it. They had this glazed look, like she wasn't fully present. And I realized she'd been spending a lot of one-on-one time with Daniel too, during their check-ins. I started doing some digging. I know I shouldn't have, but something was seriously wrong, and everyone was acting like I was crazy for noticing. I started coming in early, before Daniel arrived at his precise 9 a.m. I'd check his desk area. It was always immaculate. No personal items, no coffee cups or snack wrappers, no photos, no decorations, nothing. Just his laptop and a notebook that was always locked in his drawer. One morning, I got brave. Stupid, really. I picked the lock on his drawer. It wasn't hard, just a basic office desk lock. Inside was the notebook. The pages were covered in symbols. Not writing, symbols, geometric patterns, strange diagrams that hurt to look at too long, and names, lists of names with dates next to them. I recognized some of them, people who used to work at our company but had quit or transferred. Sarah's name was there, Miguel's name was there, Beth's name was there, my name was there too, with today's date next to it. I took a photo with my phone, shoved the notebook back and locked the drawer. My hands were shaking so bad I could barely hold my phone. That's when I heard his voice behind me. "Looking for something, Marcus?" I spun around. Daniel was standing about 10 feet away next to the break room. I hadn't heard him come in, hadn't heard the elevator or the door. He was just there. I dropped my pen. "Thought it rolled under your desk," I stammered. He didn't move, didn't blink, just stared at me with those empty gray eyes. "Your pen is on your desk, Marcus. I can see it from here." The way he said my name made me want to run. There was something wrong with his voice. It had this layered quality, like two people talking at once, slightly out of sync. Right. Yeah. Must have been mistaken. I backed away toward my desk, not turning my back on him. He smiled then, really smiled, and I saw his teeth. They were too white, too perfect, too sharp. "We should have lunch today, Marcus, just you and me. I feel like we should get to know each other better." I actually have plans. Cancel them. Not a request. A command. I nodded, not trusting my voice, and went back to my desk. I was going to grab my stuff and leave, make up a sick excuse, anything to get out of there. But when I got to my desk, I couldn't move. Like literally couldn't move. My body just sat down in my chair and opened my laptop, even though my brain was screaming at me to run. It was like I was a passenger in my own body. I worked for 4 hours in complete terror, unable to leave, unable to call for help, unable to do anything but work. And the whole time, I could feel Daniel watching me from across the office. Lunchtime came. Without meaning to, without wanting to, I stood up and walked to the break room where Daniel was waiting. Everyone else had gone out for lunch. It was just us. "Sit," he said, and I sat. He didn't have any food, just sat across from me, hands folded on the table, staring at me with those awful eyes. "You're curious about me," he said. It wasn't a question. I couldn't speak. My throat felt paralyzed. That's natural. Humans are curious creatures. It's part of your charm. But curiosity can be dangerous, Marcus, especially when you stumble onto things you're not meant to understand. What are you? The words forced themselves out of my mouth against my will. He tilted his head, considering. Your language doesn't have a word for what I am. The closest translation would be harvester. I harvest energy, life force, whatever you want to call it. And offices like this, full of stressed, exhausted people staring at screens all day, are perfect feeding grounds. I wanted to scream, wanted to run, couldn't do either. Sarah, Miguel, Beth, they've all been so helpful. They're like batteries now. They come in, work tirelessly, never complain, never question. And I feed on them little by little. They'll last years if I'm careful. Decades, maybe. Why are you telling me this? I managed to whisper. Because you were supposed to be next. I had everything prepared, but you had to go snooping, and now you've seen too much. He leaned forward. So I'm giving you a choice, Marcus. Join them, let me in, become part of the collective, keep working here in peaceful productivity. Or what? Or I'll have to remove you. Permanently. And I'll make it look like you never existed. I've done it before. The names in the notebook. All those people who'd quit or transferred, they hadn't quit. He'd erased them. I can make it painless, he continued. You'll just stop coming to work one day. Your emails will show you sent a resignation. Your apartment will be empty. Your friends and family will slowly forget you ever existed. I'm very good at cleaning up loose ends. Something in me snapped. Maybe it was adrenaline, maybe it was pure terror, but suddenly I could move again. I grabbed my coffee mug and threw it at his face. It passed right through him. For a second he flickered, like a glitch in reality, and I saw what he really was underneath the Daniel disguise. Something tall and wrong with too many joints and eyes that covered its entire body. Then he was Daniel again, but angry now. Wrong choice, he hissed. I ran, sprinting out of the break room, through the office, toward the stairs. The elevator would be too slow, and I had this horrible feeling he could control it anyway. Behind me, I heard him calling my name in that layered voice, the sound echoing impossibly loud through the empty office. I burst into the stairwell and ran down 6 flights, nearly falling twice. When I hit the ground floor, I didn't stop. I ran through the lobby, past the confused security guard, out into the bright Austin sunshine. Only then did I stop, gasping for breath, squinting in the light. I looked back at the building. In one of the 6th floor windows, I could see a figure standing, watching me. Daniel. Even from 6 stories down, I could feel those gray eyes locked onto me. I never went back. I called Beth from my car, told her I quit effective immediately. She sounded disappointed but unsurprised, like she'd expected it, like maybe others had tried to escape before. I moved out of my apartment that week, left Austin entirely. I'm in Seattle now, working remotely for a different company, looking over my shoulder constantly. But here's the thing that keeps me up at night. I looked up our Austin office on LinkedIn last week. Daniel's still there, still listed as senior developer, and there are 3 new team members who just started last month. I found their social media. All 3 of them have posted about their awesome new co-worker Daniel, who's been so helpful getting them oriented. And in every photo their eyes look a little more glazed, their smiles a little more empty. I tried to warn them, sent anonymous messages. They blocked me, called me crazy. So, I'm telling you all instead, if you work in an office and someone new starts who seems, just too perfect, too efficient, who never eats lunch, who makes people around them change, get out. Seriously, don't be curious, don't investigate, just get the hell out. Because, well, some coworkers aren't just bad at their job or annoying in meetings. Some of them are predators, and they're very, very good at what they do. My name is Marcus Reed. I used to work at Nexus Technologies in Austin, Texas. If you work there or know someone who does, please, get them out. And if you see Daniel Torres, run, just run. That was Marcus's story, submitted to our channel 3 weeks ago. We've tried to follow up with him multiple times, but his email bounces back and his phone number is disconnected. We did some research. Nexus Technologies in Austin is a real company. They do have a development team on the 6th floor, and according to their public LinkedIn page, they do have an employee named Daniel Torres. We reached out to Nexus Technologies for comment. They declined to participate in this video and asked that we remove any reference to their company name. We declined. If you work at Nexus Technologies, or if you know Marcus Reed, please reach out to us through our website. We want to know he's safe. And if you're Daniel Torres and you're watching this, we see you. This story is based on a real submission. Names of individuals have been verified.